home from work we go. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. It's home from work we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, your officials. And your announcer and commentator for this session is Mr. Grant Shivers.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you to our officials. If you'd like to take your positions, please. As our officials are moving back, we've got two events in this session, a mirror of this morning, 100 backstroke for the girls, and then 100 fly for the boys. And then as this morning, we will follow those with their respective finals. So we'll get our officials back to their positions and probably do a test start whilst we're waiting for that. Do follow us on Twitter at Hertfordshire ASA, I think. Can't remember, but it's fairly obvious. Live streaming of the results is available off the Hertfordshire ASA website, as are previous results from this morning's session. And also on YouTube, there is a video of this morning's session, and this session's going out live. So yes, the session's going out live on YouTube, so if you know people who aren't here who want to watch or listen, they can do so on YouTube. Also, someone's lost a blue inhaler, a Ventolin inhaler. It was left on the seat behind, I think, lane 5, lane 4, presumably the finals previously. So if you've lost a blue inhaler and you're not a cyclist, then come and get it from me. So in our first heat this afternoon rather, we should have 4 swimmers, although there's 3 swimmers here at the moment. Abby Hackworth from Hatfield in 3. Chloe Costa should be in 4, but doesn't appear to be there. Chloe Hodgkinson of Hemel in 5, and then Kira May Ingram of Verulam in lane 6. If you haven't seen it already, you can also buy hoodies and t-shirts with the Hertfordshire ASA 2018 logo and what have you out in the lobby, so they'll do a t-shirt or a hoodie. They're very nice, so they're available for you. This is event 115, the girls 10 years and over backstroke, heat 1, referee. Our first heat then of session 2, Abby Hackworth of Hatfield in lane 3, Chloe Hodgkinson of Hemel in 5, and Kira May Ingram of Verulam in lane 6. 100 metres backstroke, 4 lengths backstroke. The lane numbers, for those who are not familiar, are on the blocks at both the start end of the turn end, with lane 1 closest to the scoreboard, lane 8 closest to the spectator area. Most of our heats have the fastest swimmer by entry time in lane 4, going out to the slowest swimmers in the outside 2 lanes, other than the final 3 heats, which have the fastest 24 swimmers seeded across those 3 heats. Cyclically seeded. So meanwhile, back in the water, Abby Hackworth turning first, 41.39 in lane 3 with the pink hat of Hatfield, somewhat in the lead. Chloe Hodgkinson of Hemel in second place. No, she's not. She's in third. And Kira May Ingram of Verulam in second place in lane 6. They come back down towards the start end. Half a length to go for Abby Hackworth. Entered on a 1:33.75. Going to be somewhat underneath that time as she's got 5 metres to go. Abby coming in then, finishes the first heat, wins it on a 1:26.55. Second place goes to Kira May Ingram on a 1:30.60, and the final finisher in that heat, Chloe Hodgkinson, Hemel, 1:33.90. Thank you, swimmers. Can you clear the pool towards the sides? Heat 2, referee. Florence Dye of Costa in lane 1, Aine Dunwoody of Costa in 2, Hannah Cushion of Hatfield in 3, Phoebe Matthews of Hatfield in 4, the early leader Mia Hickman of Berkhamsted in lane 5, Erin Younger of Verulam in 6, Morgan Slade of Tring in 7, and Sophie Hollis of Costa in lane 8. And they turn almost at the same time at the 25-metre mark, coming back down towards the start end. Mia Hickman of Berkhamsted just in the lead. And then coming up well, the Costa swimmer, Aine Dunwoody and Hannah Cushion in 2 and 3. Pretty much in a line across the pool. Now in the lead, Morgan Slade of Tring as they go into the turn at the 50-metre mark. Morgan turning first, 41.80. Then Mia Hickman, and then Hannah Cushion. Morgan Slade with the yellow and blue hat, black and yellow hat rather, of Tring. In lane 7 in the lead, just half a body length or so ahead of Erin Younger of Verulam in lane 6. Morgan Slade in the lead. In second place, Mia Hickman. Berkhamsted is between those two for the win here as they come underneath the flags. Morgan Slade has the advantage, half a metre or so ahead of anybody else. Morgan comes in and finishes at 1:26.62. Mia Hickman second at 1:27.16. Third goes to Aine Dunwoody of Costa, 1:27.43 as our final swimmer, Sophie, comes in to finish. Thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Heat 3, referee. Amy Harper of Watford in lane 1, Racer Vickery of Costa in 2, Jamie Wardell of Bishop Stortford in 3, Thea Patel of Potters Bar in 4, Caris Tolland of Costa in 5, Charlotte Williams of Cheshunt in 6, Sophie Bradley of Tring in 7, and Eva Glynn of Verulam in lane 8. It's Cheshunt swimmer Charlotte Williams in lane 6, ever so slightly in the lead, just a little bit behind her, Caris Tolland of Costa in lane 5, actually out of the lead now in lane 2, Racer Vickery of Costa also. She turns on a 40.02 with Charlotte Williams second. At the turn on a 40.8. So Vickery out in the lead, and then we've got Patel, Toland and Williams, second, third and fourth. Lanes 5, 6 and 7. As they go down towards the turn end for the final time. Racer Vickery still in the lead, then Patel, Toland, Williams, not far behind them, most of the other swimmers. Coming back down towards the start end. Vickery just hanging on to that lead. Keris Toland of Costa pushing her hard in lane 5, but it's Vickery who's going to take the win. Couple of strokes, stops the clock on a 1:24.16. Second place goes to Keris Toland of Costa, 1:24.72. Third place, Amy Harper of Watford. Her time, a 1:25.24. So thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Heat 4, referee. Holly Morgan of Hoddesdon in lane 1, Megan Worley of Watford in 2, Katie Lane of Costa in 3, Isabella Murtagh of Hatfield in 4, Nima Mara of Watford in 5, Amelia Clark of Watford in 6, Alexandra Braniff of Watford in 7, Wojciech Dziadziok of Verulam in lane 8. Pretty close this one. Hatfield's Isabel Murtagh with the pink hat in lane 4, just in the lead, half a metre or so ahead of the rest of the field. Pretty tight at the moment, moving up towards the 15-metre mark. Isabel turns first, 38.02. 38.80, Nemo Mira. Watford in lane 5, turning second as they move down towards the 75-metre mark. Isabel Murtagh still in the lead. Isabel Murtagh turns to the final time in the lead. Then Nima Mira, Alexandra Braniff, second and third as they make their way back down towards the start end. Murtagh just beginning to extend her lead, almost a body length ahead of the rest of the field as she comes underneath the flags with 5 metres to go. Murtagh takes the win there, 1:17.44. Amira second, 1:19.67, and Katie Lane of Costa third. Her time, 1:20.69. Can you clear the pool to the sides, please, swimmers? Clear the pool to the sides, please. Disqualification in event 115. That's this one, heat 2, lane 3, disqualified for a technical infringement. Heat 5, referee. Anastasia Wilkinson of Hatfield in lane 1, Sophie Ledger of Hatfield in lane 2, long underwater phase there for Sophie. Sarah McGrath of Hatfield in lane 3, Hannah Brooke of Harpenden. Fastest entrant in lane 4, Lucy Coyer-Bell, just beside her, turning second at the 25-metre mark. For Costa in lane 5, Isabel Geller of Tring in 6, Grace Corley of Hemel in 7, and Bella Parkus of Hoddesdon in lane 8. And it's Lucy Coyer-Bell coming off that turn rather well as she comes down towards the halfway mark in the lead at the 50-metre mark. Quick check, then turns on a 36.56. Hannah Brooke just behind her, then Isabel Geller. Lucy Coyer-Bell, lane 5, moving away from the rest of the field. Almost a body length now. It's very much in a line from lanes 1 through to 7 for second place. As Lucy Coyer-Bell turns, the rest of the swimmers 3 metres or so behind. And it's lane 1, Anastasia Wilkinson turning in second place for Hatfield. Half a length to go now for Lucy Coyer-Bell. Moving away from the rest of the field all the way through this race. Entered on a 1:17.49. Going to be a long way underneath that. She finishes 4 metres or so ahead of the rest of the field. 1:14.66 her winning time. Anastasia Wilkinson holds on to that second place over the last length, finishing on a 1:18.06. Grace Corley at the other end of the pool for Hemel Hempstead, third on 1:18.63. Thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Clear the pool, please. Heat 6, referee. Charlotte Anderson of Bishop Stortford in 1, Kira Wharton of Tring in 2, Maggie Fleet of Watford in 3, Isabella Yeebsley of Hatfield in 4, Abigail Hewson of Berkhamsted in 5, Lucy Jordan Cause of Hatfield in 6, Lydia Zanetti of Watford in 7, and Freya Hilston also of Watford in lane 8. Abigail Hewson of Berkhamsted and Kira Wharton of Tring vying for the lead here, with Wharton with a slight advantage with the yellow and black hat in lane 2, turns first on a 35-31. Yeebsley second, Zanetti third in lane 7, so spread across the pool. It's a Tring swimmer in lane 2 holding on to her advantage as she moves down towards the 75-metre mark. Kira Wharton then lead almost a 2/3 of her body length, I'd say, as she went into that turn. Coming off the turn there, very strong into and out of the turn, Abigail Hughes of Berkhamsted in lane 5, and Isabella Yeebsley of Hatfield in 4. But the Tring swimmer, her lead's diminishing, but she's going to hold on to it just as she comes down, another stroke to go, and she finishes in first place. Not come up on the clock, but I'm pretty sure it was Kira Wharton. Then second place, Lucy Jordan Cause, third, second place, Yeebsley, and third, Lucy Jordan Cause. If you clear the pool to the sides, please, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. All the results, as always, subject to the referee's confirmation, and the results being tweeted, I think, but certainly they're being printed out of the lobby, so you can check them there. Heat 7, referee. Heat 7 underway. Molly Cobold of Hoddesdon in lane 1, Rosie Cave of Tring in lane 2, Kaya Phillips of Bishop Stortford in 3, Ashley Cooper of Hitchin in 4, Valeria Giron of Hatfield in 5, Clara Livingston of Hatfield in 6, Emma Craig of Harpenden in 7, and Freya Beresford of Hemel in lane 8. And little to choose between them at the moment. It's a slight advantage to Molly Cobold of Hoddesdon in lane 1 with the red hat. As she comes down towards a turn, Emma Craig of Harpenden in 7, those two turning first and second. 36 dead for Molly, 36.55 for Emma. And they all move back down towards the 10 end, 3/4 of the way through, or they will be soon. Molly Cobold and Emma Craig fighting for the lead here. Molly turns first, then Emma, and then Rosie Cave of Tring in lane 2 turns third. Just under half a length to go then for the leaders. Molly Cobold just hanging on to this for Hoddesdon, perhaps moving away from the field now. Emma Craig of Harpenden in second place, and then the Tring swimmer Rosie Cave in third, having a good battle with Kaya Phillips of Bishop Stortford. But the winner, Molly Cobold, her time 1:13.56. Second place, Emma Craig, 1:14.71. Third place, Kaya Phillips, 1:15.21. Thank you, swimmers. Can you clear the pool to the sides, please? Heat 8, referee. Anna Crossley of Royston in 1, Lucy Hinks of Hoddesdon in 2, Chloe Burko-Botang of Hatfield in 3, Amelia Dunwoody of Costa in 4, Libby Chambers of Verulam in 5, Abby Larkman of Hoddesdon in 6, Daisy Sandon of Stevenage in 7, and Sophie Chen of Hatfield in lane 8. Amelia Dunwoody of Costa with the early lead with the blue hat, yellow markings in lane 4. Almost a body length ahead of the rest of the field. And then Daisy Sandon of Stevenage. Lane 7 with a black hat in second place on the turn. Amelia turning on a 33.68. Daisy on a 35.42. Then third place at the turn, Anna Crossley. Very strong swim here for Amelia Dunwoody. A long way front of the rest of the field as they come into the turn. At the turn end, so Amelia going one direction, most of the swimmers going the other direction. Daisy Sandon, the closest to her, in lane 7 for Stevenage, as they all move down towards the flags. Amelia Dunwoody, though, of Costa, very strong swim this. Her entry time was 1:13.60. She finishes way under that, a 1:10.51, so a good personal best, or at least an improvement on her entry time there. Daisy Sandon of Stevenage second, 1:12.88. Third, Lucy Hinks, Hoddesdon, 1:13.79. So thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Heat 9, referee. Emily Brown of Watford in 1, Gemma Nottage of Watford in 2, Charlotte Hingston of Hemel in 3, Harriet Newman of Potters Bar in 4, Laura Hull of Bishop's Stortford in lane 5, Ella Nykamp of Berkhamsted in lane 6, Tegan Wollaston of Cheshunt in lane 7, Brianna Maisie of Tring in lane 8 and into the wall first, Emily Brown of Watford in lane 1 with a red hat. Just holding on to that lead, is pretty tight though, it's a good race this one. Brianna Maisie of Tring just in the lead as they go into that first turn at the turn end, 35.19. With the clock stopping very quickly across the pool there. So there's not much to choose between them. Brianna Maisie, Tegan Wollaston, Emily Brown by first, second and third as they all go down towards the 75-metre mark. Brianna Maisie into the turn first, then Tegan Wollaston, then Emily Brown. So as it was after 25 metres coming off the wall, who's going to have the strength just to push on to the end here and take the win? Tegan Wollaston of Cheshunt just moving forward. Brianna Maisie in second place. Emily Brown in third as they come in the last couple of strokes. Tegan takes the win. Her time 1:12.41. Brianna Maisie second for Tring, 1:13.15. Third, Emily Brown of Watford, 1:13.68. Thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Heat 10, referee. Isabel Anderton of Hemel in lane 1, Courtney Burke of Cheshunt in 2, Eleanor Craig of Watford in 3, Victoria Pope of Watford in 4, Ellie Hollis of Costa in 5, Amelia Anderton of Hemel in 6, Jessica Robertson of Costa in 7, and Francesca Pisi of Watford in lane 8. And it's Isabella Anderton turning first in lane 1. Coming off the turn though, very strongly in the middle of the pool, Victoria Pope of Watford. So Victoria underneath the flag, she's got half a metre or so advantage over the rest of the field as she goes into the turn. Victoria turns first, her time 34.41, then Jessica Robertson of Costa second, 35.13. Moving back down towards the turn end, Victoria Pope has the lead. The other swimmers, little to choose between them. As Victoria Pope turns, she kicks off the wall. Then Jessica Robertson and Isabel Anderton, second and third, lane 7 and 1. Half a length to go then, Victoria Pope still hanging on to the lead here. Eleanor Craig of Watford just beside her, moving up into second place. Francesca Pisi in third. Victoria Pope comes in to finish, dips and stops the clock on a 1:10.97. Second place goes to Eleanor Craig, coming back strongly in the last length and a half on a 1:12.03. Jessica Robertson of Costa third, 1:12.12. Thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Heat 11, referee. Nellie Eastland of Bishop Stortford in lane 1. Lane 2, Jessica Woodford Hatfield. Madeline Stairs of Watford in 3. Agnes Burns of Harpenden in 4. Millie Fields of Bishop Stortford in 5. Gemma Hanson of Hatfield in 6. Fiona Holmes of Watford in 7. And Florrie Gertz of Costa in lane 8. So the entry times in the 1:10s and the 1:11s for these swimmers. And the leader at the moment, just in the lead, Agnes Burns Harpenden in lane 4, tad behind her, Millie Fields, Bishop Stortford. They turn. Agnes turning on a 34.28, Millie on a 34.43, and then Gemma Hanson of Hatfield in lane 6, turning on a 35.01. They go back towards the 75-metre mark. Agnes Burns still has the advantage as we go into that final turn. It's Agnes Burns, then Gemma Hanson. First and second, Gemma about a metre or so behind Agnes. Gemma Hanson, Millie Fields vie for second place as Agnes Burns from Harpenden moves away from the rest of the field. Almost clear water between them. She dips and the clock stops on a 1:09.39. Second place, Millie Fields, Bishop Stortford, 1:11.33. Third place, Gemma Hanson, 3/10 behind her, 1:11.61. Thank you, swimmers. Clear the pool to the sides, please. Heat 12, referee. Bailey Wilkes of Hatfield in lane 1, Harriet Clements of Watford in 2, Molly Bradley of Tring in 3, Neem James of Bishop Stortford in 4, Beatrice Barder of Costa in 5, Isabel Harbour of Verulam in 6, Sophie Burns of Watford in 7, Isabella Salisbury of Berkhamsted in lane 8. Neem James, Bishop Stortford in the lead then, moving away from the rest of the swimmers very nicely indeed. Molly Bradley in lane 3 in second, Beatrice Barder in 5 in third place. Neem James stops the clock at the halfway point, 32.04. So she's moving away from the rest of the field nicely now. It's a very good race for second place, one of the closest heats we've seen for second. The rest of the swimmers almost in a line. Neem James a long way ahead of them, and then just turning slightly ahead of the rest of the field. Bailey Wilkes of Hatfield in lane 1. Meanwhile, Neem James, Bishop Stortford, extending her lead. A body length a bit, it's exceptionally close for second place. Molly Bradley just has it at the moment, but the winner, without too much doubt, Neem James, Bishop Stortford, 1:09.06. Then 1:09.64, Molly Bradley of Tring in second place, and third place on a 1:09.68, Isabel Harbour of Verulam. Clear the pool to sides, please, swimmers. Heat 13, referee. Heat 13 underway. Emily Lush, Potters Bar in 1. Sophie Quatch, Hatfield 2. Lily Merritt, Hoddesdon 3. Grace Wiley, Hatfield 5. Josie Precious White, Bishop Stortford 6, Sophie Taylor, Costa 7, Jessica Heason, Potters Bar in lane 8. And it's Emily Lush of Potters Bar in lane 1, turning just ahead of the rest of the field at the 25-metre mark. Coming off the wall, though, it's lane 3 with the advantage, Lily Merritt of Hoddesdon. So Lily Merritt swimming nicely now, and lane 6 coming towards the front. Josie Precious White, Bishop Stortford, so it's chopping and changing a little bit. Josie, though, turns first on 32.63, just ahead of Lily Merritt on a 32.69. So 5 100s between them. It's Merritt, Wiley and Precious White vying first, second and third. Not a huge amount to choose between them as they go into the turn. And it's Grace Wiley turning first at the 75-metre mark. So who's got the strength down this final length? Josie Precious White looking powerful with a black hat for Bishop Stortford in lane 6. She's just moving into the lead. Grace Wiley in second place. It's going to be close as they come in those last couple of strokes. And Precious White, Bishop Stortford takes a win on a 32.63. Merritt second, 32.69, and Wiley third, 33.04. So thank you, swimmers. Can you clear the pool to the sides, please? Our final heat then in this event, heat 14, referee. Olivia McGill of Hatfield in lane 1, and Anya Fletcher of Bishop Stortford in 2. Rebecca Sewell of Hemel Hempstead in lane 3. Shannon Stott, Hatfield 4. Jessica Keogh, Hatfield 6. Larissa Dean of Harpenden in 7, and Tori Weston of Costa in lane 8. Mia Carter of Bishop Stortford with the purple hat in lane 4. Shannon Stott of Hatfield in lane 4, turning first. Turns 32.01, her time at the halfway mark. She's moving away from the rest of the field. It's pretty close between the rest of the field. Shannon Stott, though, in the lead as she comes back. And it'll turn half a length ago. It's pretty close across the rest of the field, with Jessica Keogh and Larissa Dean for second and third, with Keogh with a slight advantage, but Shannon Stott takes the win, 105.89. Second place goes to Jessica Keogh of Hatfield on a 108.56, and third place goes to Larissa Dean of Harpenden, her time 109.27. Can you clear the pool to the sides, please, swimmers? So our second event of this session, event 116, the boys 10 and over 100 metre fly. This is heat 1, referee. So swimmers, if you could just stand down, there's just be a short pause whilst we get our computers to talk to each other. Archie Rand, lane 2 for where rather. George Taylor, Bishop Stortford 3. William Fawcett, Watford 4. Kobe Cornwell, Potters Bar 5. Jacob Jella of Tring in 6. And Daniel Belsey of Hemel in lane 7. So the first heat of the 100 fly. Kobe Cornwell, Potters Bar, white hat, lane 5 turning first. 4 lengths of fly, of course. And Kobe just beginning to move away from the rest of the field. Looking nice and strong on the fly there. Moving up towards the halfway mark for Kobe. He turns 40.13, and it's a lot closer behind him. William Fawcett second at the turn, Archie ran third. So the field's splitting a little bit. Very good swim for Kobe here. Long way in the lead. His entry time 1:34.13. As he moves back down towards the start. So he's on a 1:10 at the moment, so he should be a little bit under the 1:34. It's spread out across the rest of the field with Archie Rann and William Fawcett vying for second and third. Kobe swimming very well. 1:34 is entry time. He finishes on a 1:23.52. And then it's split across the rest of the field. It's not particularly close as our heats go. Second place, I'm pretty sure, was Archie Rann. It wasn't triggered on the timing system. And then William Fawcett was third. His time of 1:30.68. Jacob Keller next, 1:32.25. And then our final swimmer coming in, which is Daniel Bilsey. His time of 1:43.91. Heat 2, referee. Callum Cox 1, Ryan Wall 2, Jason Hicks 3, Ethan Howard 4, Alexander Mason 5, Thomas Godfrey 6, Daniel Hollis 7, and Nathan Massam lane 8 rather. And a pretty good line across the pool. Alexander Mason, Potter's Bar, going into the turn first, coming off the wall in the lead in lane 5. So good lead that for Alexander at the moment. At least a body length ahead of the rest of the field. And then Daniel Hollis and Ethan Howard vying for second and third. Howard just ahead of Hollis. Meanwhile, the Mason's back up towards the other direction. He turned on 35.69. Best part of 2.5 seconds ahead of Ethan Howard, who turned on 39.35. Mason still in the lead, long way ahead of the rest of the field. He's coming in, he touches the pads now. He's about 4 meters ahead of Ethan Howard for Potter's Bar. And then third place. They're all under the water at the moment, the third place swimmers. But Daniel Hollis of Costa in lane 7. So good split field here, a strong swim for Mason as he comes in to finish. He entered on a 1:27.44, finished on a 1:18.89, so that's a long way under. Second place, Howard, 1:21.93. And then third place goes to Ryan Wall of Royston, his time of 1:26.58. Last couple of swimmers coming in, Nathan Massam, 1:34.51. And then Jason Hicks for Watford, 1:37.16. Heat 3, referee. Joshua Ellis 1, Jake Gord 2, Lewis Dormer 3, Cub Madison 4, Charles Berry 5, Theo Lim 6, Sidney Thompson 7, and Lucas Hartley in lane 8. And it's Jake Gord of Bushy and Sidney Thompson of Ware, lanes 2 and 7, into the wall first. Very high out of the water, actually, for both those swimmers, but lane 2 in particular, very high stroke as he goes round. Sidney Thompson of Ware now moving into a solid lead and coming back on them and moving to a nice strong 7, Cub Madison of Hadfield. Thompson turning on a 37.25 against Madison's 38.73. And then Theo Lim, 39.31, third at the turn. Moving back up towards the turn end. It's just compressing up in the centre of the pool. Thompson just beginning to tire a little perhaps as Madison moves up and almost in the lead. I think he will be in a moment or two. And Charles Berry and Theo Lim between them, swimming strongly for now second and third. Madison of Hatfield in the lead in the centre of the pool, lane 4. Sidney Thompson Ware in second place. There's some good battles here. Theo Lim in third. Charles Berry in third, rather. So the winner, Cub Madison, 121.36. Theo Lim of Watford, 122.47. Charles Berry third. His time, 123.20. Jamie Ismatalev 1, James Atwell 2, Max Hill 3, Keaton Ratch 4, Mark Evans 5, Charlie Stanbury 6, Jason Ho 7, and Henry Roberts in lane 8. And it's lane 4, Keaton Ratch going out early for Watford, a long way ahead of the rest of the field, couple of metres as he went into the turn, coming off the wall. Still holding on to that lead. It's pretty tight for second place. Mark Evans in 5, Ismatalev in 1, Jason Ho in 7. As they come down to the halfway point. Keaton Ratch a long way in the lead. Mark Evans and Jamie Ismatalev turning pretty much at the same time. Keaton Ratch turning on 32.55. The other swimmers 38.39, 35.86. So 35.74 and 35.86. Ratch a long way ahead. A little slow on the turn perhaps, but he's still in the lead. Then Evans and Ismatalev vying for second place as they swim back down towards the start end. Coming back on them a little bit, Jason Ho of Hatfield. Meanwhile, way back at the front, Keaton Ratch finishes convincingly, 1:11.03. It's tight for second place. Ismatalev and Evans vying for it, and in the end it goes to Mark Evans, swimming for Hitchin in the S14 category, 1:17.62. Ismatalev on a 1:18 dead for third place. Heat 5, referee. Kieran Burkett in 1, Alistair Walgrove 2, Daniel Ord 3, George Thorne 4, Jack Savage 5, Enzo Lim 6, Nathaniel Hopkins in 7, and Joshua Heesom in lane 8. George Thurn of Berkhamsted turning first, holding on to that lead. He's been pushed hard by Jack Savage. And then third place, Daniel Ord, lane 3 for Watford. Thorne turns first. Then Savage, then Ord. Coming back down towards the start end. It's closing up a little bit. Can Thorne hold on to this? He's looking like he may be tiring slightly. Jack Savage of Potters Bar in lane 5 coming back. Likewise, Daniel Ord of Watford in lane 3. Ord now moving into the lead, so a good final length there for Daniel Ord, accelerating very well. In fact, far too much left in the tank, I would suggest, there for Watford's swimmer. Daniel taking the win, though, nevertheless, 1:12.68. George Thurn of Berkhamsted, second, 1:14.28, and Jack Savage of Potters Bar, third, 1:14.65. Heat 6, referee. George Williams in 1, Peter Sawetcha in 2, Benjamin Green in 3. Kieran Cook in lane 4 as they all touch. There's very little choose between them, pretty much a line as they go into the turn. Ewan Donald in 5. Samuel Pye-Finch swam well this morning in 6, Taylor Coe 7. Zane Batt in lane 8. Ewan Donald, Berkhamsted just beginning to move into lead now. He's got a metres or so advantage as they go into that turn. Judges see a stroke pretty nicely there on the turn rather at the 50-metre mark. Turns first on 31.12. Donald in the lead, then it's Pie Finch and Kieran Cook. Flanking him for second and third. Donald turns, coming back down towards the start end. Up out of the water. Looking strong, quite high, but looking strong out of the water. He's got 4 or 5 meters to go, 5 meters now. Donald comes in, takes the win, 106.99. It's close for second place, but just goes to Kieran Cook, 109.35. And then Samuel Pie Finch third, 109.90. Heat 7, referee. Harry Arbuthnot in 1, Charlie King 2, Thomas Stanbury 3, Joshua Bridgeland 4, Matthew Honeyman 5, Joshua Trapp 6, Mateus Moore 7, and Matteo Lobiundo in lane 8 as they go into the turn, and it's Joshua Trapp for Hertford turning first in lane 6. Trapp then in the lead, pretty close for the next places. Slight advantage to Mateus Morse, Hemel Hempstead, as they all come into those final few strokes before the turn. Trapp a long way ahead of the rest of the field, 28.69. Second place Honeyman, third place Morse at the turn. Trapp moving away from the rest of the field. Honeyman and Morse vying for second and third. Coming back nicely, Joshua Bridgeland with the pink hat, or the purple hat, in lane 4 for Hatfield. As Honeyman, Potters Bar swimmer. Joshua Trapp, Hertford swimmer, a long way in the lead. So it's who's going to come second is the race now, as Trapp comes underneath the flags. A few strokes to go. And Trapp finishes 1:30.61. Second place goes to Joshua Bridgeland of Hatfield, having a good length and a half at the end there. 1:05.13, and on a 1:05.43, Matthias Morse for Hemel. Heat 8, a referee. Daniel Martin 1, Jude Gold 2, Thomas Ogden 3, Joel Green 4, Tolu Ellison 5, Daniel English 6, Samuel Newman in 7, and Kohi Watanabe in lane 8. So it's all going a little bit faster every heat, as Tolu Ellison of Potters Bar in lane 5 turns first. Off the wall though, and he's just in the lead, being pushed hard by Daniel English in lane 6, and then Samuel Newman of Berkhamsted in lane 7. Those three in the lead, just tad behind them Jude Gold of Hitchin, so not much to choose between them at the moment. It's Daniel English turning first, 29.57. Ellison, English, Newman and Gould, nothing really much to choose between them as they move down towards the far end. Gould looking like he's just beginning to move to lead. In lane 3, it's Gould versus Ellison. Gould touches first, then Ellison, English and Newman. Not too far behind, just hundredths rather than tenths. Coming back down towards the finish then, half a length to go. Jude Gould in the lead, then English versus Ellison for the next couple of places. It's going to be on that final stroke. Who's got it right? Oh, it's very tight. Gould just takes, no, he doesn't. It's English takes the win. 1:04.48. That shows you how you need to get that final stroke. Absolutely perfect. Gould in second place, 1:04.57, both Hitchin swimmers, and then Potters Bar's Tolu Ellison in third, 1:05.28. Heat 9, referee. William Picton in 1, Daniel Murtagh 2, Ismail Rahim 3, Luke Turley 4, Jude Lydiard 5, Zachary Patel 6, Callum Williston 7, and William Loveman in lane 8 as we go into our final set of 3 final heats, cyclically seeded. And it's Zachary Patel, Berkhamsted in the lead in lane 6. As he comes down, a couple of strokes to go before he turns, gets the stroke position pretty much perfect. 2, 3, 4, kicks under the water, and off he goes, still in the lead as he moves down towards the turn end. He turned on a 28.38. It's closing up a little bit. Patel, then Lydiard, Rahim, and Murtagh. Nothing really much to choose between those few swimmers. Patel still has the advantage. Luke Turley of Hatfield in lane 4 coming back on him. Jude Lydiard between them of Costa in lane 5. Likewise, but at the moment Patel just has it. Lydiard doing very strongly at the end there, and I think Lydiard took that one. He did. 102.20, just got the stroke correct at the end there. Patel 101.52. So Lydiard 101.20. Patel second place, and third place Turley 102.04. And a disqualification for you, event 116, heat 6. Lane 8, disqualified for a technical infringement. Heat 10, referee. Samuel Gaines 1, Angus Harrow 2, Max Jelfs 3, Lucas Dyson Diaz 4 rather, Harry Jones in 5, Adam Martin in 6, Joshua Holland in 7, and Devish Kapoor in lane 8. And it is Dyson Diaz of Hatfield in lane 4, just in the lead. He comes up, nice long underwater phase, but Harry Jones for Hitchin in lane 5. They're in a good battle here. It's Jones with a slight advantage. As they turn, Dyson got the stroke correct at the end there, 27.27 against a 27.42 for Harry Jones. But they're in a good battle here. Third place rather at the moment, Adam Martin of Potters Bar in lane 6. Dyson Jones though, into that final turn. Nothing really to choose between. They push off the wall at exactly the same time. Jones comes up first. Dyson Diaz possibly in front of him as they're coming down. Just 5 or 6 meters to go. Dyson Diaz at a slight advantage, half a body length or so. He takes the win. Harry Jones in second place and Adam Martin in third. The winning time, 58.63. Jones's time, 59.07. And then Adam Martin for Potters Bar. His time for third, 1:00.43. Final heat then, heat 11. Referee. Harrison leads 1, Ashley Holdus Wright 2, Reese Hudson 3, James Woodward 4, Callum Davis 5, Michael Klemaszewski in 6, James Chanel 7, and Daniel Luss in lane 8. And it is Callum Davis, Bishop Stortford turning first in 5, coming back down towards the start end. Callum Davis, James Chanel's in 7 in second place. Little to choose between them. Callum Davis with the slight advantage, 27.58 at the turn. And the next swimmer, 28.17, a few tenths behind him, James Woodward of Hatfield in lane 4. They go down towards the turn end. Callum Davis has the advantage, then it's Woodward rather, then Ashley Holdus Wright in third place for Watford in lane 2. They come back down towards the start end. Callum Davis, James Woodward vying for the lead. Woodward coming back very strongly on the last half length. Woodward takes the win at 58.64. Callum Davis second, 59.09. And third place goes to Klemaszewski, Hatfield, 1:00.24. So that completes the heats for this session. There will be a short break if you'd like to clear the pool to sides. When you're ready, please, swimmers. There'll be a break whilst we sort the finals out, and then we'll do the finals. As soon as I know when they'll be or who the finalists are, I will let you know. In the meanwhile, we'll have a little bit of music.
We go. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. It's home from work we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, your officials. And your announcer and commentator for this session is Mr. Grant Shivers.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you to our officials. If you'd like to take your positions, please. As our officials are moving back, we've got two events in this session, a mirror of this morning, 100 backstroke for the girls, and then 100 fly for the boys. And then as this morning, we will follow those with their respective finals. So we'll get our officials back to their positions and probably do a test start whilst we're waiting for that. Do follow us on Twitter at Hertfordshire ASA, I think. Can't remember, but it's fairly obvious. Live streaming of the results is available off the Hertfordshire ASA website, as are previous results from this morning's session. And also on YouTube, there is a video of this morning's session, and this session's going out live. So yes, the session's going out live on YouTube, so if you know people aren't here who want to watch or listen, they can do so on YouTube. Also, someone's lost a blue inhaler, a Ventolin inhaler. It was left on the seat behind, I think, lane 5, lane 4, presumably the finals previously. So if you've lost a blue inhaler and you're not a cyclist, then come and get it from me. So in our first heat this afternoon rather, we should have 4 swimmers, although there's 3 swimmers here at the moment. Abby Hackworth from Hatfield in 3. Chloe Costa should be in 4, but doesn't appear to be there. Chloe Hodgkinson of Hemel in 5, and then Kira May Ingram of Verulam in lane 6. If you haven't seen it already, you can also buy hoodies and t-shirts with the Hertfordshire ASA 2018 logo and what have you out in the lobby, so they'll do a t-shirt or a hoodie. They're very nice, so they're available for you. This is event 115, the girls 10 years and over backstroke, heat 1, referee. Our first heat then of session 2, Abby Hackworth of Hatfield in lane 3, Chloe Hodgkinson of Hemel in 5, and Kira May Ingram of Verulam in lane 6. 100 metres backstroke, 4 lengths backstroke. The lane numbers, for those who are not familiar, are on the blocks at both the start end and the turn end, with lane 1 closest to the scoreboard, lane 8 closest to the spectator area. Most of our heats have the fastest swimmer by entry time in lane 4. Going out for a swimmer. Agnes and Sophie, can you come and see me, please? Or if not, Harpington and Hatfield representative. Oh, here we are, thank you. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. They say our love won't pay A swim off to get into the final. Referee. So these swimmers both had the same time, so they're swimming off to see who's going to win this heat or this race, and that will allow them to qualify for their final. Agnes Burns of Harpenden in lane 4 and Sophie Quatch of Hatfield in lane 5. Agnes with the silvery hat and Sophie with the pink hat. So not too much to choose between them. It's a sort of tactical race in some ways. All you have to do is beat the other person. I guess with a minimum amount of energy, because you've won the race in a while. So it's a lane 5, 33.46 against a 33.48, so just 2 100s with Sophie ahead of Agnes, so nothing really to choose between them as they go in towards that final turn. I'm sure they're aware of each other as they go into the turn, perhaps a little look underwater across each other. Nothing still to choose between them. Glad I don't have to place it. Slightly moving to the fore, it looks like Sophie, but having said that, there's nothing really much to choose between them as they come underneath the flags. Sophie versus Agnes, they need to be thinking about that final stroke. They're head and head, it's who's going to get the finish right. Well, I'm glad we've got AOE. 108.79, Agnes Burns takes the win. 108.87, Sophie in second place. So well done to Agnes there. Yeah, very good race all the way through. Thank you very much, swimmers. Clear the pool at your convenience, and then we will carry on with the preparations for the finals. Let me just announce the finalists for the boys. I think we have been round, but just so everybody in the gallery knows. 10, 11-year-old finalist, Ethan Howard, Kobe Cornwell, Ryan Wall, Archie Rand, William Fawcett, Jacob Geller, Lucas Hartley, Nathan Massam. George Taylor and Daniel Bielzi are the reserves. Whoops. 12-year-olds, Jamie Ismatleff, Max Hill, Jason Ho, Cub Madison, Theo Lim, Joshua Ellis, Daniel Hollis, Thomas Godfrey, with Callum Cox and Jason Hicks as the reserves. 13-year-olds, Samuel Pyefinch, Daniel Ord, Peter Sueska, Kieran Burkitt, Alistair Woolgrove, Joshua Heesam, Enzo Lim, Alexander Mason, James Atwell and Charles Berry, the 2 reserves. 14-year-olds, Michael Klimaszewski, Thomas Ogden, Benjamin Green, Keaton Ratch, George Williams, Taylor Coe, Jack Savage and Nathaniel Hopkins. 15-year-olds, Joshua Holland, Daniel Murtar, Joshua Bridgeland, Matthias Morse, Devish Kapoor, Charlie King, Ewan McDonald, Daniel Martin, Matteo Lobiundo and Harry Arbonot, the reserves. And the 16 and over age group, Lucas Dyson Dias, James Woodward, Harry Jones, Callum Davis, Adam Martin, James Chanels and Ashley Holness Wright. The 2 reserves, Zachary Patel and Harrison Lees.
Well, my friends, the time has come. Raise the roof and have some fun. Throw away the work to be done. Let the music play on. Everybody sing, everybody dance. Lose yourself in wild.